Hey, everybody. Before we get into the episode today, we have a very, very special...
Keep it going. We don't have time. Go.
Shit. We have a very special message, and it's not really an announcement because we already announced it.
Right.
So it's like a re-announcement.
Reminder.
A reminder that on Sunday, June 1st, Funbearable will be doing a live show at the Comedy Connection in East Providence, Rhode Island. So if you're in Massachusetts, Connecticut, if you're in the New England area, come on out. It's a lot of fun. Tell them the name of the show.
The name of the show is, a Narragansett Beer presents...
Narragansett Beers,
Funbearable
Dumber.
Oh, is it Dumber?
Yeah.
Maybe we take this all over again.
No.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it's Dumber Break. I forgot my own dumb pun that I threw out there.
Yeah,
it's Dumber Break, like Summer Break, but it's crossed down. It says Dumber on there. It works better as a visual.
We're silly. That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
It's Narragansett Beer's Funbearable Dumber Break.
Yeah.
And it's going to be another live show from us, which, as much as we are a podcast, our live shows are not really a podcast.
No, I mean, they are a podcast. But it's very presentational and it's very fun and a lot of fun to do. Let me put it this way. A lot of goofs that we have, often we will be like, you know what? That's better for a live audience than in the vacuum of this room that we're not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of stash those away for these live episodes. I know there's stuff coming up for Dumber Break that is genuinely exciting, and I can't wait to do it. It's weird and fun and silly, which is kind of what Funbearable is.
I agree. I think it's funny. It's almost like
I just did a fucking look to the camera. All right.
I think it's kind of like it's a hybrid podcast with like improv-y segments. We come up with segments and bits a little bit more than I think typical podcasts do.
True.
And if you're someone that's a fun bear that's come out to maybe our 100th episode or our Winter Funderland episode, bring some friends. Tell them it's a fun time, because I think people are kind of surprised when they show up. And we do try to make it like, even if you just walked in off the street and you don't know the show, you don't know us, we don't fill it with callbacks. We try to really make it accessible for everybody that goes.
Unless you come in late, in which case we will
chastise.
We will absolutely obliterate you.
We pull you on stage. We usually chain them to the
physically,
wall. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it's like, that strip clubs, they do the whip thing. It's fun. We have a cat of nine tails.
And then Brad does very sexual things.
Yeah.
Very sexual.
You ever see that torture device with the nails inside the head? We do one of those.
Well, a lot of people don't know this, and it's unfortunate Brad is not here to speak for himself. Mm-hmm. He left and made us stay here.
Yeah.
But I will say, in terms of Brad, now that he's not here, we can let this out. You never see the face of the gimp in Pulp Fiction. And that is because it's Brad Rohr.
It's Brad.
It's
Brad's
very
the gimp
clear.
in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Brad is the gimp in Pulp Fiction is the main takeaway from this plug.
Yeah.
The secondary thing, if you can try to remember, is that we have a live show coming up June 1st at the Rhode Island Comedy Connection. It's genuinely going to be a lot of fun. It is the Narragansett Beer's Funbearable Dumber Break.
Absolutely. Funbearablepod.com for tickets. And we'd like to announce for the very first time on this episode that RI Food Fights is joining the team, and they're sponsoring the show too. Check out RI Food Fights. They're a great organization in Rhode Island that focuses on finding the best food through very fun, friendly competition.
And fighting that food.
And fight that food.
And can I say, RI Food Fights has won every single fight they've had against the food.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so follow them at RI Food Fights on Instagram. They're always posting about their best restaurants. They have these great coupon passes where you get a great value of checking out a lot of new food in Rhode Island. But we want to say thank you to them. We want to say thank you to Narragansett Beer, funbearablepod.com,
Thank
Sunday,
you to Pulp
June
Fiction.
1st. And thank you to Quentin Tarantino for giving Brad his first acting role and letting Brad come up with his character.
Oh, yeah.
Write exactly what his character is going to do.
Yep.
And
bring his own wardrobe.
Bring his own wardrobe and just give him a place to be creative.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
are we doing cold or no?
Well, I was going to say, I actually think this is germane to the podcast because we've talked about it several times on the podcast.
Yeah.
So today, basically as we're recording, we found a kidney donor for my mom.
Yes.
And it
No,
is...
not the collective we.
We all looked.
Yes.
I looked, yeah.
I looked.
Oh, you did, Brad? Did you look?
Yeah, of course. I did. It was a Where's Waldo, Carmen San Diego situation.
Brad, did you look?
All right, I did. I mean, not physically look.
I think you glanced.
I researched. I did a lot of background stuff
Yeah.
so that other people could like polish Chuck's glasses for him.
So he could look more
So
clearly.
he could look-
Yes, he was a helper.
Every public space I have been in for the past 2 years,
Yeah.
I have just at some moment, even when I'm with my wife and child,
Yeah.
and at this point they know it's coming. I'm like, I got to do the thing, and they're like, oh, and they leave before I leave.
Yeah.
And it's usually when I'm leaving, and I just yell loudly, "Does anyone have a kidney?"
Yeah.
And then I wait to see if somebody will come up.
Yeah. Well, you told me that you'd actually go around and kind of feel
Like
for
squeeze
feel
the-
for a ripe one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if they ripen.
You can knock on them too. Yeah. That's what doctors do.
Yeah, they do.
You know, doctors do the fingers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
palpating.
They take the two fingers and they put them on your stomach, and then they go with the other two, like that. And I'm like, what would be bad?
The sentence is, this can't be a thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
But like when they do it, ever since I was a kid, I've always thought like, what's the bad noise? What do I hear when it's like, uh-oh? You know what I mean? Like, doom, doom, doom. Well, uh-oh. Or what if you hear like, come in? Oh, Jesus. That's the tumor. But yeah, what is the bad noise?
I don't know.
Is it just a less hollow one? And it's more of a thud?
I can't even imagine what he's doing. I mean, my doctor does the reflexes.
They're fucking with us. I
I
think they're
think-
fucking
yeah.
with us. I think the hammer reflex on the knee, I think that was bullshit from the beginning.
Well, what about the testicle cough?
What does your doctor make you do?
The testicle cough.
What are you
What's the
talking
testicle
about?
cough?
Well, like, what is that though? Do you know what it is?
Yeah,
What
it's
is the testicle
it's
cough? No, I'm
it's to
kidding.
test if you have a hernia.
Yeah.
Oh, they filmed my hernia.
Oh, they had some.
If you have one,
yeah.
yeah.
If you have a hernia,
If you have a
something
testicular hernia.
Yeah, something feels
Oh,
different.
not
down
not this one.
Yeah, no.
Not the stomach mesh hernia.
Right.
Hernia.
Oh, have you seen somebody with one on the like near the belly button?
My brother had one.
Yeah,
My
it's
brother
weird
had
and
one.
gross, and I don't like it.
It was weird.
I knew a comic that had it for so long, and he'd be like, "Yeah, look at it. It's weird."
My
Yeah,
brother
it
had one,
hurts.
and it was seriously like someone was poking a finger.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
What if it was? That's when the doctor knocks and you hear, "Come in."
it's an ET kind of situation.
Oh, it's coming out. It's coming out.
Oh, that wet brown creep.
Yeah,
You
but I
just
think
can't
the
trust
doctors are fucking with us. I think the tummy thump
Yeah.
is a fuck with.
Tum thump.
And I think the testicle check.
Yeah.
I think, and the turn and cough. I think that's a fuck with. I think early on, because as we know, and what I am often reminded of when we go into medical situations, which is a lot of what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a level of it where I am acutely aware that we exist on a timeline of medical knowledge.
Exactly.
And that, relatively speaking, we are so close
Yes.
to the time where it was just like, I don't know, let's get some of that blood out of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's throw some leeches on it.
Yeah,
I know.
let's let some of this blood out.
Exactly.
And
yes.
it's crazy that we're so close to that time.
I know.
Like we have CAT scans, but also like we're just a few generations back where it was like, I don't know, we're gonna cut it off and give you some cocaine.
Yeah.
Right? It's like what?
bite this wallet.
Yeah. So I'm always thinking about when I'm at a doctor for anything. I'm always thinking about like, what in 100 years are
Exactly.
people going to be like? You did that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I know. I completely agree with that. I don't know if there's any more quackery, right? You think there's any more quackery?
Yes.
Really?
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Jinx.
What's the quack?
Let's kiss.
Quack me.
Quack you?
Well, just give me the quack info.
Well, ironically, quack my back. I think.
Yeah.
I think that
Chiropractors? I'm scared of chiropractors. I won't do it.
Chiropractory is so close to quackery.
I would.
Yes.
I don't go to a chiropractor. It scares
Yeah.
me.
I
It makes me
did,
nervous.
but
Yeah.
my chiropractor was very upfront of like, "Hey, this
is
this
quackery.
adjusts your spine. This does not cure illness. This is not going to rid you of germs." And I think there are chiropractors who say, "Oh no, once your spine is aligned,
Right.
you're fine."
I went to a chiropractor when my back stuff started.
Yeah.
my herniated disc and the sciatics. Oh, I got the sciatics. And like he did the things and it hurt real bad.
Yep.
And then even he was just like, after like the second visit, because I was like, I'm not going to keep paying for this. It doesn't help me.
Yeah.
Even he was just like, chiropractic stuff, blah, blah, blah. It can do these things.
Yep.
I think sometimes if it's in nerve situation.
Yes.
But again, I'm grateful that I went to a person that has the moral fortitude to say
Yeah.
so. I think there are a lot of chiropractors that are like, this will fix anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So many people with depression need to have their necks cracked in a weird way.
Yep.
And I just happen to be a guy that puts it on TikTok.
Yep.
Have you seen some of the chiropractor people like snapping kids' necks
Yeah.
and stuff?
My favorite one is there's a guy that does it to animals.
Your favorite one.
That's my number
That's
one.
the worst one.
No, the animals seem to be happy about it.
Oh, Jesus.
The animals like look at him. They look at
This is Chuck walking out of an interview for a lab that tests on animals. No, they look happy.
Yeah.
They look happy.
that rabbit.
I mean,
was,
looked beautiful with all that makeup.
Yeah.
Ooh, va va
that's what I
voom.
was gonna say.
Her mascara was running because she was crying a lot.
You want to open the show?
I'd love to.
Oh yeah.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Funbearable. I'm Brad Rohr.
I am registered nurse Ray Harrington.
And I'm Chuck. I think the animals are liking it. Stay in.
Zookeeper Chuck Stay. They love it. They love it. They wouldn't know what to do out there.
Yeah.
Zookeeper Chuck, the lion is tying a noose in some rope.
That's how smart he is. He's smart.
It's for someone else.
They're doing a play.
That's how
It's the
fulfilled
crucible.
the animals are.
I will say so that chiropractic quacks. I refuse.
Great band.
I don't want to go to one because it scares me. People have
Yeah.
strokes, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm really big into physical therapy. I've had a couple of really great physical therapists that help me out.
That's different. That
and it's not
is
even
medical.
Well, the reason I'm bringing it up because it is totally different. I have one in Staten Island right now. She's awesome.
Let her out.
And she goes, she's real little, and she goes, it's part of this.
Is this just a kid walking on your back?
No, I'm not kidding. She probably is this tall on me, like below my shoulder.
Okay.
I
I could never go to this person.
You could go. So
She would need help.
well, she
We got to move his arm.
well, it's mostly exercise, and then she does some stuff.
Yeah.
But she said, "Do you mind if I do very light adjustments to your back? Because basically, I'm having this pain down my right arm, and she's like, it's tied to your posture. She's
Yeah.
like, it's a huge issue now. People with phones,
Oh,
people
of
who
course,
work
yeah.
computers, their shoulders go in and
Yeah.
their back goes forward. She goes, do you mind if I do light adjustments? And so, oh, dude, I know. What's crazy is if you do this for a long time and you're not used to it, it'll start to hurt.
Yeah.
It'll hurt.
Yeah.
Move the
So-
microphone. I'm messing up
the
your
way-
camera angle.
A big part of it is me having to sit like that all the time. She goes shoulders down, shoulders back,
Ass up.
ass up.
That's
Face
the
down.
way. Yep.
Yeah. So she said, "Can I do adjustments?"
I switch it. I go ass up, face down. That's the way I get around.
Yep.
Skittering around. She said, "Can I do minor adjustments?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay." And you can't even feel it. It's not really. She'll just go like this, and she'll feel my back, and she'll go like, and she'll push
do a
like
light poke?
Yeah, kind of like around my vertebrae. So it's
Yeah.
not that. And I'm like, this I can deal with.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it. So I think it's helping my posture. But
It is a weird thing. Chiropractic stuff.
yes,
Because I've heard some things and I've read articles and things
Yeah.
like that. I think there's an episode of a show that is long gone. It was called Bullshit on Showtime.
loved it.
Penn
I
and
loved
Teller.
it. I loved
It was the
Bullshit.
best. It
I
was
love
so
that
fucking
show.
good.
I referenced their feng shui episode last week.
It's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, their vaccine episode was great. A lot
Recycling.
of that. But I think they did chiropractic stuff, and it is a weird thing of like some of the places that you can get accreditation are odd. A lot of the belief in it is quackery, and often it feels to me like a place where you go and get temporary relief
Yes.
and then continue to go to get that temporary relief, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't help anybody. Maybe
Right.
it does, but it feels like it feels adjacent. I wouldn't be surprised if you were in a chiropractic office and the chiropractor is doing their thing. They do that weird thing on the table where it drops for a second
Yeah.
weird stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if at towards the end they started talking about Scientology too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know.
It has that feeling.
I know, and I'm sure it does help some people, but I'm just nervous.
It makes me
about
think of like early veterinary work, where I wonder how many veterinarians in the very early stages of veterinariadom, like Victorian era stuff, right? Where even human medical stuff was still fucked up.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
What if we stick a thing up your nose and cut off part of your brain for
Yeah, I know.
you? You know, that'll really help you out. You've been sad for too long, so we're going to shove this ice pick in your eye
Brad
and just sort of wiggle it.
Brad has this much brain.
Still sad.
Sucks.
He's sitting here like this, like
He's drooling. Yeah.
It's I have ice picks in both eyes. I'm you know what? I'm Hellraiser. I'm Pinhead from Hellraiser.
The idea was
Still sad.
continuing the podcast.
Yeah. He's still there, like blood tears coming because of the ice picks. Right? A doctor comes in and goes, I would say he's a vegetable, but let's be honest, he's a hot dog at this point.
The idea of continuing the podcast is
And every once in a while he goes, and we're like, man, always a sniper.
Yeah.
Always coming in with those jokes.
Yeah, he goes, and we're like, not food.
No. He's eating the microphone again. So he thinks it's a gray lollipop. It's ice cream cone. But my point was,
The idea was continuing to do it.
yeah, because we care. Yeah, we're not. We want you to live a full life.
Thank you.
Even if it's just kind of taking a live doll around.
Right,
you know?
right.
No, I think about early veterinarians where like how much of it was guys that were like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Right? Like somebody brought in a goat. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like I only know horses and now there's a cat here. And he's just like, probably a hip. What can we do? Gotta put him down.
Yeah.
Gotta put him down. Like just like the bad vet that's just like, gotta put him down.
I don't even want to think about it. They probably didn't even give animals like anesthetic and stuff back then.
They did not.
Oh no.
Really?
No.
Is that true?
Well,
They didn't give people anesthetic.
Oh, well, that's at least they're on par.
Yep.
But,
I will also say not necessarily from a quackery standpoint, but the like every 5-year colonoscopy, like that kind of stuff is like now you take a pill or whatever. The prostate exam, instead of getting fingers shoved in your bum, they're
It's
like,
just
take
one,
this pill.
Brad. It's
that
just
true?
one.
What's that?
I thought it was 3.
Well, my doctor was like, 10 fingers.
Wait, is that
Snap,
true?
snap,
You don't
snap,
need
snap.
prostate exams anymore? Is a thing of the past?
No, and it would be irresponsible for us, based on the demographics of our listenership, to say that those are a thing of the past.
Brad just said it was a thing of the past.
I'll say there are alternate tests than getting fingers in your
Fingered.
bum.
Oh, I see.
Let's just call it an exam, boys, okay?
Talk to your doctor.
No woman goes to the gynecologist going, I'm going to go get fingered today. Relax.
Well,
it's
they
a
also
medical
squeeze your
procedure. What? Oh, they do squeeze the titty. And that's what... Oh, a casual gyno. Just a guy coming in and be like, why don't you hop up on the table and pop the hood? We'll get a look at it.
Yeah.
We'll get a look at it, right?
I like it.
Can you imagine a gyno just going like...
Yeah.
Right? That's it. Just wow. God damn.
Is it good or bad?
Eh.
Yeah. It's not great.
No, and then they go, please, this is a medical thing.
Yeah.
You hear pictures going on.
The big splash. Yeah, so we've talked about it on the podcast a couple times.
What a transition.
Yes.
Well, it's so basically we've talked about it mostly on the end of year episodes because we talk about the idea of what do we want for the next year.
Yeah.
The Funbearable. And I always say the main goal is to find my mom a kidney.
Yes.
She's been on dialysis for like 4.5 years. A woman I dated named Lindsay, I dated her in 2021 to like spring of 2022.
When you guys were doing the rallies, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was always awesome, and like as soon as we stopped seeing each other, we were just like, we're just gonna be friends, and we were just friends since then. There was never even like a weird period of time. She's really funny. She's really cool.
Yeah, they met on the website J6 Date.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that's funny.
Thank you.
And J6 Date is really funny.
Who's going to storm my capital?
So she eventually was like, hey, maybe I could donate a kidney to your mom. And remember, we had our buddy from Maine that was looking into it. Remember him?
That's right. Yeah. Wonderful listener of the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Alex.
And Alex was his name. Yeah. And there was another older guy who his wife died, and he read a thing because my dad put it in the church bulletin. We're all kind of trying to spread the word.
Yeah.
And he tried to do it, and he didn't qualify.
What was he trying to give the wife's kidney? Like, hey,
yeah, he was like, I
was
got
he like,
it.
hey, my wife just died.
He's like, I have it here.
She's not using it.
Yeah.
You want it?
So yeah, and so
$50.
I guess like the whole process is like
25.
there's a billion tests you have to have.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to take a kidney from someone and have it not work out.
Right.
You know, the first thing is blood type, and then there's 1,000 more, and you test a billion times.
Yeah.
So
They have to ask about like likes and dislikes.
Yep.
What kinds of movie genres are you into?
well, you know what they do have? Psychology exams
Yeah.
for the people that
Right.
donate, because they have to like make sure this isn't like a lunatic.
Right,
It doesn't
right.
get what they're doing. So she was kind of like, oh, like I'm gonna she's like, I would like to test for it. And like we're always very positive. We've kind of gone into the whole dialysis thing being like, we're gonna find a kidney, not like we hope we find a kidney.
Yeah.
Like we've been like, we're gonna find one.
Let's find the right one. You've been picky.
Yeah.
You've
Right,
been picky.
exactly.
Yeah.
So she started coming up to Rhode Island to do these tests.
Yeah.
And again, you're hopeful, but it's such a gigantic thing
Right.
that you also don't want to be like, this is going to work out, and then get your hopes up.
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
them
No,
dashed.
of course. Of course.
So you're playing this very weird, optimistic game, and things were going along. And then Lindsay texted me a couple weeks ago, and she goes, yeah, they told me, if all the tests keep going well, the possible surgery date is May 12th.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. And I was like letting people know, but like only like a couple people that are really close
Right.
to me, because I don't want to be like, it's definitely happening.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, this last test, because that's what happened with Alex.
Right.
He got wicked close, and they're like antibodies, which I don't even know exactly what that means. And so Lindsay kept testing and testing.
It's a Greek. I think it's a Greek goddess.
Yes, that's right.
Antipodes.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So they prayed for her consent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
She said no.
denied.
Antipodes said no.
Yes. So Lindsay kept testing, and they were like, okay, like 2 weeks ago, they're like, yeah, May 12th is the surgery date.
Wow.
And we're like, okay, maybe 3 weeks ago. And so we're like waiting for it to come. And today is the day where they're doing the surgery.
Yes.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It was insane. So we had Mother's Day yesterday. Lindsay did Mother's Day with us. She was, she came up here a couple days early. And
Did she get a percentage of the gifts?
oh, she got some gifts.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
My mom has been very thankful and generous.
Well, you have to.
I think
this
so.
feels like a couple finding like a surrogate
Yeah.
This
for
is-
a child.
this
And you
is-
got to be nice to the surrogate.
It's the weirdest, most delicate thing in the world. It's like it's so hard to even make sense of it in your head. The idea of like, we need to find someone who wants to give you one of their organs, and then
Yeah.
it's actually happening.
It's actually the second weirdest delicate thing in the world.
What's the first?
Rat's penis.
It's both weird and delicate.
Yeah.
Don't keep it in the china cabinet. It's fun to look at. Do not play with it.
You don't use it.
And
No.
Brad's like,
It's for company.
on Thanksgiving.
It's for company. I'm sorry.
So here's what was weird yesterday.
Yeah.
So we're all happy, but we're just kind of being like, this is great. This is going to go great, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I was leaving my parents' house last night, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to hang out tonight, and I'll watch stuff with you, because my mom told me, she's like, I don't know if you'll be able to visit us for a few days. So like, let's hang out tonight. And then they're like, oh, like we have to go to bed. We have to wake up at 4 because we have to
Yeah.
be there at this time and do this. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was about to leave, and I'm like, all right, it's going to go great. All right, hug you. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I kept like stalling, and I kept being
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
don't know. And so I left, and I feel like everything like hit me for the first time, because for 4.5 years, we've just been like, we're staying on the positive track.
Mm-hmm.
My mom told me when she started dialysis, she goes, I don't want to talk about this really. She's like, so I just want to keep it there, and I
Yeah.
don't want it to be a thing in my life.
No, that could make you crazy.
Yeah.
And so when I would talk to her, she'd be like, oh, I'm coming back from dialysis. And I go, how'd it go? And she'd be like, fine. So yeah, so we're going out to dinner. And she would just
Yeah.
be like, I don't want it to be a part
Yeah.
of my life after this.
I get that. I admire that. Yeah.
Exactly. And so last night, I think the weight of what it actually was and
Yeah.
the weight of what is happening hit me, because like for the whole time, it's almost like we put on positivity blinders. It's the only way I can describe it.
fun.
Sure,
For
sure.
the past 4.5 years. So today is the surgery.
Yeah.
And it's happening. It just happened a couple hours ago. My grandfather called me and he's like, everything is great. They're doing really well. My dad called me, and Lindsay's actually texting me right now.
Yeah.
It's a little. She's like, I'm in so much pain. I'm sobbing. She's like, It's like.
Is she saying that?
Yeah. It's like worse than that. She's like, I'm in so much pain that I feel like throwing up. Like, and I'm like,
what the fuck do you say to that?
I know, and I think
she voluntarily did this thing. It's beautiful and magnanimous, and that's hard. That's a hard thing. There's a Larry David of this thing too. There's a Curb Your Enthusiasm.
There was a whole season about Curb about kidney donation.
Oh, whoops!
Yeah. It was Richard Lewis needed a kidney, and Larry was a match.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a lot of like etiquette things, politeness, but also these larger things at play. It's rife for that kind of comedy.
Yes, it is. I didn't say this to Lindsay, but so there's a show called Wannabes. It's a podcast.
Craig, don't let Lindsay hear this part.
And it's a podcast with a bunch of Tell 'em Steve Dave listeners. They're super kind. They're great guys. And they've had me on a couple times. You've met some of them.
Yes.
And I was out to dinner with a bunch of them and a bunch of people in New Jersey. And Nick, one of the guys, was like, I was talking about the situation. And he goes, I donated a kidney to my stepson. And I said, how'd it go? And he said, it was the most painful and most rewarding experience of my life. Yeah. And so I definitely didn't say that to anybody.
Yeah. Also, hey pal, that's childbirth.
yeah, right. So it's just a really heavy thing that's happening.
It's so weird because I have a friend from improv who has donated a kidney, and she made it seem
like nothing,
like it was sunshine and rainbows. But I think she's just like a genuinely good, positive person, and is shielding
person. So I'm sure she's just like, it was great. I loved every minute of it.
Yes-anding the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's also it's difficult to. She's gorgeous. It's difficult to access a memory of extreme pain from years ago. Like you can remember that it happened, but it's so muted by time.
Oh yeah, no, they talk about that with childbirth. I brought up childbirth as a joke, but it's true.
Yeah.
And it's totally biological. Like it's an evolution.
They want
necessity.
you to forget it.
Yeah.
Your biology.
The Antipodes want you to forget that, because otherwise a woman would give birth and then be like, fuck,
never again.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely
Exactly.
not. You do it out of your little pee hole. And then go, little. And then we have a whole thing. But no, I that is absolutely true. People just forget, because you have to, right? You have to.
I think so, yeah.
I'm glad that we don't remember pain
exactly
that much.
Exactly. I was telling someone the story yesterday of when I had my second spine surgery.
Yeah.
And what happened at one point was like, as you know, we all have had spine issues here.
Yep.
They give you a cortisone shot in your spine. Have you ever had one?
I've had steroid shots in my spine.
Yeah, and you've had them too.
Nope.
You never had a cortisone
No,
shot or a steroid?
No, the doctors skipped it the first time, and the second time where I didn't go to the doctor.
They couldn't find it.
Yes, they couldn't find my spine.
Yeah. Like it's like jelly.
Yeah.
Jesus. I don't even know how this guy's upright.
I'll say the first time it was
like a jellyfish in there.
It's a medical marvel.
the ruptured disc was so bad that they're like, no, surgery is the option. And the second time it was 9 months between when I injured my back and when I went to the doctor for it. And by then they're like, no, you're past where a cortisone shot would help. Surgery is your only option.
Can I say this is absolutely appropriate for the podcast? I don't know if I wonder if I've told this story, but the last time I got a steroid shot, and the reason I haven't gotten another one since, and I was just talking to my doctor about this, I'm going to try and do it again. Mm-hmm. The last time I went,
you had 70 home runs the following season.
I felt great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, the last time I went was an incredibly uncomfortable experience. First off, it weirds me out because when they do it, I don't know for you, but when they do it, you have to lay on the table. There's an X-ray machine that takes a quick shot of your spine to make sure the disc is there and where to put the needle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then they put a needle in, like an IV almost, but it's in your spine.
Yep.
And then they say, okay, now we're going to inject the steroid, and you're going to feel this sensation. And I hate it because I'm laying there going, there's a needle in my spine, right? Like that's how it feels.
Were you bent over a table?
No, not bent over. I was laying down.
Laying down, face down, yeah.
They never They never made me bend over for it.
They made me bend over a lot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they gave me a
fingers.
prostate exam while it was happening.
That's weird.
It's weird
And
because
said
they
you're gonna
had a
feel
needle.
sensation.
They had a needle in each hand. So what?
Hello, Funbearable listener and viewer. This is Ray Harrington, just cutting into the episode quickly to talk about today's sponsor. And I know I am sounding like this is a very somber occasion.
It is.
And I don't mean it to be. No, but I'm here with Charles Staten, and we are, we
have some news to share.
Yeah. Everybody enjoyed having Cam on the podcast as a guest recently. Cam works for Narragansett Beer, and he's a wonderful human being.
Was a wonderful human being.
A bright light in a lot of people's lives. And he works with Narragansett Beer, and it was a fan of Funbearable, and kind of was the bridge between those two things. And we really do appreciate it because Narragansett Beer, even before our sponsorship, was a beer company that we both really appreciated, being
Absolutely.
a local beer brand that is now national. That's really special. The ties it has to so many things like Jaws and stuff like that is really special. So we were really happy and proud to be connected with Narragansett Beer, and we really appreciate all of it. And Cam was a huge part of that, and nothing can take that away.
Right.
I think remembering that Cam, made that possible.
Yeah.
Now the unfortunate part.
Well, I just want to say also, this. No matter what the circumstances are around Cam or anything that's happened, it doesn't reflect on us.
No. We appreciate him. I don't think we spent, we didn't do personal time with Cam.
Right. So whatever decisions he's made, however that's led him down the path that he went on, is his own business. But we do appreciate him coming to us, and Narragansett Beer as a sponsor.
100%, because Narragansett Beer, again, wonderful beer brand, not impersonal. I think having the fact that Cam could connect us and come to this shows how great Narragansett Beer is. Narragansett being like, we want to sponsor this podcast that's in the same state as us and do this fun thing and be cool with you guys doing weird, insane, too long, rambly bullshit for our sponsorships.
Perhaps even some would call them misleading.
Or in poor taste. Right? But we really do appreciate it. So before we give the bad news, I guess I would just say, and for anybody that may not know, Cam again worked for Narragansett Beer, fan of the show. We had him on because there was a wonderful story about him breaking both of his arms on a scooter bike accident. Right around the time that we penned the deal.
Yes.
And it was very fun. Check out that episode. And be sure to go to narragansettbeer.com or at Gansett Beer on Instagram and other social media sites. I don't know if they're on Truth. But here we go. So thank you, Narragansett, and thank you to Cam. We really appreciate it. I don't know how else to say this. He got another scooter.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
So last time it was 2 really small cars. But he decided to go on the highway, and there were 2 Mack trucks.
And everybody said don't go on the highway.
No. And
it's
everyone
a scooter.
said you can't drift under these Mack trucks.
No.
But
all he kept saying was John Wick did it.
John Wick, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to get into the details.
No.
But Cam, I know you're always looking down on us, and you're always looking out for us, no matter where you may be, where you ended up,
right?
Because of your decisions in life.
And anybody that wants to pay respects to Cam can go on YouTube. I think there's some news bloopers where it happened. And I want to say thank you, Cam, because we know that you had a good sense of humor and would appreciate if this was all a goof, you would be like, that's funny. Not, I'm going to take away your sponsorship.
Do you know what my favorite news blooper was from it?
What?
When the girl said, decapitated.
Oh,
that was funny.
Yeah, that was very funny. That was funny.
Yeah.
My favorite was, the police sergeant that was throwing up?
Right next to the corners, he was patting on the back.
Crying. Yeah. But when he tried to speak and he got choked up, and he went, "It's like a horse. It's like a horse." Oh, and he started to get choked up. What I really liked is, and the mic picked it up on the freeway.
Yeah.
He did a little poot. He did a disgust poot.
That was funny.
That was very funny.
Yeah.
That was good. The security camera footage from
the inside of the Mack truck.
No. I haven't seen that one, but from the restaurant that was next to the overpass. The spray, just the spray.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was crazy.
It looks like when a car drives through a puddle real quick.
Yeah.
It was funny because people were eating outside.
Yeah, it was very.
Blush.
A lot of laughs with Cam.
Absolutely.
So you know what I mean? Like that's
always a smile on his face. I don't think they've found it yet.
the face of the smile.
Yeah.
No, they found his face.
Yeah,
the smile. It's MIA.
Yeah. KIA. This has gone, some would say, too far.
I think so. And we love you, Cam, because we know you love it.
Absolutely. Back to the show. But I'm on the table. I already don't like it.
Yeah.
Right? They talk about when you're there, like sometimes people will get like faint.
Yes.
Doing this. They make you like sit in a chair for a couple minutes afterwards. And jerk off. It was really weird.
Yeah,
I think I went to the same person.
Yeah.
But no, so I'm laying on the table, and this is true. That doctor he did it maybe like 2 times before that for me. I'm laying there. He knows I'm a comedian. I now have learned, like, when somebody says, "What do you do for work?" I try and dodge it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, or I'll really quickly say, but then change the subject.
Yeah.
Because
I'm a comedian, but I always wanted to be a truck driver.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I killed a guy. Stuff like that. But
concrete and industrial piping.
that's what he did for work.
Yeah.
And so it's. I don't like answering that question because it's the same kind of follow-up stuff that happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But if I'm in a situation, I don't want to be like, yeah, oh, my favorite is this one. And oh, you like that? No, I've met them. Yep, I worked there.
Oh yeah, puppets, yeah.
Yeah, love them. Feldman. But so I'm laying there, and he like chuckles to himself. The needle's in. He hasn't done the injection yet. He chuckles to himself.
Yep.
Sorry, my sinuses are sealing up as we speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
He goes, I got a good joke for you. And I was like, oh, no. And I'm laying on the table, and all I'm thinking about is I don't want to move too much.
Yep.
Exactly.
There's a needle in my spine.
Did you feel like I don't know what happens if I do move?
Right, yeah.
That's how I felt, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if I have to poot?
Yes.
Will it come out of the needle?
The needle shoots up into the ceiling.
Oh, no.
Then you start deflating.
He puts his thumbnail into the little thing so it comes out like it's a tire, like a bike tire.
Yeah.
So he's like, I got a joke. How come? And he was like, I heard this from some. I can't even remember who he said. He horribly paraphrases.
Yep.
Misses like whatever the comedic thing was, and says, while I'm laying on this table with a nurse who's there too, how did Michelle Obama know back in college whose dick to suck? How did she pick the right dick? And
Okay, Brad, what's your answer?
He's trying to do like something that I'm sure some stand-up had a bit about, like, how did she know who the president was going to be or something?
Right.
But it comes through this unfunny man's brain.
Right.
And he's just talking about, like, the first lady sucking the president's dick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I don't care what president it is, by the way.
Right.
Like, yes, I voted for Obama,
Throat
but
goat.
like, I'm not like, hey, what the hell? You know,
Yeah.
it's not that. It could have been anybody.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. I felt so deeply uncomfortable because I'm
The
not.
nurse is looking you in the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. She's like, what are you going to say? She's got her phone out, ready to type into Twitter, whatever it was. But no, I like, it was just, I'm not a prude, but in that, I'm in
setting
a
is
medical
insane.
setting.
Right. Yeah.
I am on a table. You have a needle in my spine.
Yeah.
You're not funny.
Yep.
You've never laughed in your life. I don't want to think of that.
If you are funny, it might be worse.
Yes.
Because I might shake and jiggle with laughter.
Yeah.
But I want to think of a doctor as somebody who, like when we were kids, we thought teachers lived at the school.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to think of the doctor as only being a doctor,
Right.
Only
not a
professional,
person.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
I'll do that with my GP.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Right.
not a specialist.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was so deeply uncomfortable in that moment, more so because the nurse was there.
Yeah.
And all I'm thinking is like, she has to hear this shit. And what a power dynamic. Oh, it's the doctor and the nurse, and that's the whole
Yep.
thing. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this.
So what'd you say?
I didn't come in here going, you want to hear a fucking dick joke? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went, like that,
Yeah.
like that's it. And I was like, yep. And I didn't engage because I was genuinely
Did
like,
he give you a punchline?
that was it. That was it.
That was the whole joke?
Yes.
I thought we were going to get this big.
No. No.
I thought this
That's
was like,
it.
why did the chicken cross the road?
No. See, I maybe I'm used to. There's a stripe of person that will be like, I got a joke,
And it's a premise.
and it is just a premise.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Or
know.
it's just a street joke, always racist, always sexist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's who gives you jokes. But in that moment, I was genuinely like, you have violated something here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
probably not HIPAA.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's part of your oath.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do no harm
Yeah.
Yeah.
is up at the top.
What would Antipodes say about
Yeah,
this?
Antipodes famously said, no dick jokes while spine needles happen. But it was a weird moment.
Oh,
and,
it's fucking
And
weird.
it was weird to me because I've never thought of it, so I never thought like, oh, I have a line here.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it happened, and I'm like, oh, you crossed what I didn't know was a line.
Exactly.
And I was like, I'm never going back to this guy. I don't want to do it. He's broken some kind of thing with me that I see with a doctor. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, now I just see an unfunny guy.
Yeah. Some sort of
With
professionalism
a bad
boundary.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he can't make smart choices in this moment,
Yeah.
what's he doing with metal in my body? Yeah. So that was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What did the doctor say in this surgery?
So, what happened was it got really bad. I was hospitalized for like 8 days, so I couldn't really walk.
Right.
And the reason I wasn't walking was because the disc was so fucked up that I couldn't put my feet on the ground, or else the pain was like went to 10 immediately. So they're like, we're gonna wheel you upstairs and try to give you a cortisone shot and see what happens. So I get in the wheelchair, and I start going, and the pain, I'm not kidding, it just rises.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
And so I was like, and I'm like trying to like kind of like white knuckle it a little bit, and it's getting worse. And they were giving me Dilaudid, and I was like telling them, I'm like I am like, the pain is insane. And they go, if we give you more Dilaudid, you will have a heart attack. Like, if we give you any more than this amount. And so I'm going up the elevator, and I get to the room to do it with my doctor, who was awesome, Dr. Lucas. And I'm like,
George?
I'm in so much pain. He's like, all right, get on the table for this thing.
Get on the table.
And they have-
Dilaudid.
and they have-
Dilaudid.
Sounds like a smuggler.
Oh,
What are you
what
smuggling?
if it's Guy Lauder?
Let's see what this guy's smuggling.
I wonder what's in there.
So they had a camera, like a video camera on me. That was a thing. And he's watching the screen to see how it goes in, just like you were saying.
Yeah.
And he goes, get on the table. And I start trying to do it. And I'm like, I can't. I'm like, the pain is so bad. And he goes, listen, if we wheel you back down to the room, we're going to have to wait till like tomorrow to do this.
Yeah.
He goes, you're here now. It's going to take another 2 minutes. Can you deal with the pain and just do it? I think that's the right choice. And I was literally screaming. Like I it's insane to think of a grown man screaming from pain, but it was so bad.
Why is it easier to picture you screaming?
Yeah, it's very easy.
Yeah.
I kind of shriek in general.
Yeah,
true.
At various like
Service
inopportune moments,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you know, just things that are
Moderate
slightly
inconveniences.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I scream with joy though, because like sometimes like Brad and I will like beat Streets of Rage too, and I'll shriek. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like when I watched Deadpool and Wolverine and Blade came on screen.
Yeah.
In the movie theater, I stood up and I shrieked with my hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also did that at the concession stand when they said they were out of snowcap. And you said it was racist that they were out of them?
Yeah, I'm Portuguese.
Yeah, he wasn't even ordering snow caps.
No, he doesn't want them.
No. I was
does,
just
though,
upset
by the
about
way?
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was literally screaming, and they did the thing while I was screaming, and It was like one of the hardest experiences. But the reason I'm bringing it up is like, I know that happened, and remembering the actual pain feels impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh no, like when I had my first nerve pain issue because of the herniated disc, there was a day where I was genuinely like, I was crying in my house, like I don't know how to even move.
I know.
This is horrible. It was so painful. It's deeply, deeply painful. I can't imagine that level of pain again.
Exactly.
You know?
I can't. I remember my post-surgery pain. Now, granted, my surgery was 3 weeks after Chuck, so maybe 3 weeks from now, I will have forgotten my pain. But
that's fair.
I remember like the incision pain and trying to roll over and all that stuff.
That's weird. So he didn't. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. No, you ask your question first.
No. You have to go first.
No, I
It's
insist.
just somebody
Well,
drive
mine's
an
not a
ice
question.
pick.
Oh.
Somebody drive an ice pick into my brain.
Did you have the same doctor? Was it Dr.
No.
Lucas?
No.
Well, here's what I was going to.
Dr. Spielberg.
Dr. Spielberg. Oh, Dr. Lucas. I remember George was in the exam room with me, and he was like, spina bifida.
I was just going to say spina bifida. That's what I was going to go to too. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
No, the thing I was going to say though,
Spina bifida.
it was interesting because my original spine surgery was 2011. And it was like 6-inch incision. We're doing this. They were like, we're going to have to pick up your nerve cluster and operate under it. And I'm like, cool. They're like, no. It's real bad. They're like, this might be bad. You got to sign an extra waiver for this. And I was like, so my recent one, where Brad had the same thing.
Suck my cluster.
He was like, I was asking him about it. And I was like, is this, I had this before. You have to lift up the nerve cluster. He goes, no, we don't do that anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, it's all laparoscopic. You won't even have any incisions afterwards. But you had incisions?
Yes.
I didn't have one.
I had so much pain. I
That
also
goes to that Amish doctor.
yes.
In that barn.
I should have gone back to the ER because I think I had an infection in my spine afterwards. But I'm like, well, this is just because I want pain pills. That's why I'm shaking and get a fever. Turns out there was an infection.
Yeah.
So
Live and learn.
for me, I had that first incision.
Rosie took
A
him.
shrug and live and learn when you have a spinal infection that can so quickly just go to your brain, and you're like,
I think it made it 3/4 of the way. It's the love tester.
oh, you were trying to do a slow frontal lobotomy,
Yes.
right?
I thought it would start in the back and work its way
Just
forward.
slowly, like a mullet.
When I did have the incision in 2011, the day after my surgery, I guess I was like kind of pain pill mode. I went into my house and I opened my swinging glass door. And I opened it and I'm like, well, that's the end of that. And I went to go unlock my door, smashed my back. It was crazy. It was insane.
It's after Chuck's 2011 surgery, because I had the surgery in 2000, and so I was like, I was laid up, I couldn't do anything, blah blah blah. And I think we talked to Chuck like an hour after the surgery. He's like, "Hey, cool dudes, what's up?"
I went to a party that night.
I think he skateboarded, and I was like, she's not going to be able to get around. We bought him 3 pounds of cheese to keep him
Mustard
occupied.
cheese. That was good.
Yeah. And it was no big deal for him.
Yeah. You just said all of those things like it was a dog coming back from surgery.
I sure did. I sure did.
I thought he was going to be really laid up. We got there. He was like, he was all bounding around. He was ready to go.
He
We
brought
bought
him
him all
3
that
pounds of
cheese.
licking people's faces.
Licking his own penis.
He did pooping on the ground.
Penis.
It is funny because I definitely
Here comes the red rocket or the lipstick.
I helped take care of Brad after his recent spine surgery.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had just had the same spine surgery, but I'm like, Gary.
It was weird that you tried to get him to suckle. I will say that. That was weird.
But you know what? Really comforting.
It was funny.
Well,
Really
that's because those
comforting.
are like 2 hot dogs hanging there. He's got very long nipples.
The infamous "I have no son," where I'm waking up. They're like, "All right, did you have a ride home?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, "All right, your son is here." And I was like, "Not my son," and they didn't hear it, and so they said it again. I'm like, "It's not my son."
Dun, dun,
It was very important to me that this person who is 6 years younger than me is not considered my son.
Like, this guy's spry, and you're like, he just had the same surgery.
That's not my son. Look at his nipples. We look nothing alike.
He's not my son. I'm like, hey, we get the same surgery. They're like, oh, it sounds like.
His are, his are 2 hot dogs hanging down. Mine are 2 fruity pebbles.
It's not like Chuck. Not like Chuck is interested in setting the record straight. He's like, come on, Dad.
Yeah.
I pat him on the back.
Yeah.
He's been having some confusion lately.
And he's all like, no, yeah.
Let's get you back to the sock hop, Dad.
Yeah, so
Okay, I know that's not true, but that would be fun.
yeah. So I was leaving my mom's house last night.
Yeah.
And like I said, it all hit me.
Of course.
I just got insanely emotional about what it was, this whole thing, and also Lindsay making this sacrifice and what it means for my mom in the future.
Yeah.
And you said earlier it was also they put up that billboard that said New Avengers instead of Thunderbolts. You were reeling from that, right? Yeah.
One of the real things that has been interesting that I kind of have dealing with for the first time that I'm really kind of trying to wrestle with is so much stuff is happening in my life right now where I'm moving. My girlfriend is moving here from Colorado to like live with me after this long distance relationship. I started my new job on Impractical Jokers. She's starting a new job at the same time.
Yeah.
And my mom is getting this kidney surgery. And each one individually doesn't feel overwhelming.
Right.
No.
But since this has been going in motion, like my move, I've been so anxious and emotional, and I'm like upset. I feels like I can't contain my emotions, and it's been like that for a couple weeks. And I'm like, is it just everything is so much that it's like stacking on top of each other?
Yes.
And it's just making me insane.
Yeah, well, that's because everybody's life, like there are aspects to their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I always think of it like my home life is my family, my which is really my wife and my son. Mm-hmm. Then there's like the other ring of family and that kind of thing, friends. There's home life. There's career. You know what I mean? And there's aspects of that. There's like the stand-up side. There's the other things, this, all that stuff. And nothing can make me feel more anxious and overwhelmed than when something big is happening in both.
Right.
And for you, that's what's happening, right?
Yes.
Your home life, literally, you're moving. You have your girlfriend moving in with you for the first time. You have to put away a lot of the action figures and a lot of the things you call action figures but are sex toys, but you say still works.
Yeah.
The name still works.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Both.
You have a lot of stuff happening in career world, right? So it's hard to look at anything as a relative constant that you can rely on.
That's what I think.
You know what I mean?
That's what I think.
And that
it
means
is.
it's good things and bad things. You know what I mean? Either way, things are getting shaken up.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, and it's weird because like all the changes like that we're talking about are positive changes that I want to happen.
Yeah.
But because my life is in such upheaval and there's so many big things, I have been like a ball of emotions and anxiety recently. It's like at any moment it can just like hit me, and it's weird. I've been really surprised at the way that it has affected me.
Yeah,
and I think last night was like a real breaking point when I was like, oh my God, this is such a big thing for my mom. We always looked at it as temporary, just to stay positive, like I was saying.
Yeah,
and so now that we're at this point where it's going to be this gigantic change that requires this insane sacrifice. It's just like really like, oh my God. It's weird.
It's a lot to just put in your head.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's been really strange. Like I said, they're out of surgery. Lindsay is texting me and it's very worrying and scary.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to my mom yet, but I know that it went really well.
I think the worst texts were the ones that she said, "I regret doing it." That was fucked up.
That was
really fucked up.
And she sent it to all of us.
Yeah. I want it back is what she said. Yeah. Oh my God.
She sent it 5 times in a row.
It better be in the same condition.
Yeah. It's weird too because I haven't looked into this because I didn't want to. Now it's done, so I can talk about it. What are they doing?
I don't want to know.
I
don't want to talk about it. Shut your mouth.
If they have one
Shut
kidney,
up. I don't like it.
If Lindsay has one kidney, Are they taking the tubes from 2 kidneys and putting it to 1?
No, I believe 1 kidney can operate enough for 2.
Yes, I know it can, but I wonder if there's 2 tubes.
Oh, no. I think it's just like now this one, like a plane, when 1 engine goes out.
Yeah.
It can still fly on the power of 1. It's not now taking power from the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, and then obviously my mom, they're connecting a tube to the new one.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is the healing process of that? I don't understand it.
It's terrifying.
It's
all terrifying and bad, and I don't like it. I personally, I'm okay with most like things.
Yep.
But when we talk about internals of bodies, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
I know.
I hate the fact that inside of my body right now is just a bunch of gunk.
Yep.
It's just goop and slop and plop.
Yeah.
And it's all put together and it freaks me the fuck out.
Me too.
I'll say this.
Biological machine.
Inside
That's
the skin of a hot dog is just slop and glop. And think of how good hot dogs
it.
are.
That is solid.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a solid.
Yeah, there's no glop.
There's no,
It's like meat.
It's barely slop.
Yeah.
It's slop.
Well, it's what's scary about the internal stuff is like every part of you is a ticking time bomb.
Yes, that's correct.
I hate it.
We've all dealt with the spine thing, which to me, I was telling someone recently, I'm like, the spine thing that happened to me twice basically taught me that you can be trapped in your body.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's a real change from before something like that to after, where you're like almost like your caution level and your awareness level goes up by 1,000,000%.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, and also the very natural thing that I think, it's the old elephant in the room.
Yeah.
We're aging, right?
Yeah.
There is a thing about being in like your 20s where I genuinely think a part of the animal brain that is in us, I think there's an innate thing that in our 20s, I don't think we can really even comprehend a lot of these things.
That's what I...
Consequence and death. Like, I don't think a 20-year-old can really look at death and examine it and think about it.
I completely
Does that make
agree.
sense?
I think about the idea of like telling like a kid who's like in
I'm not saying
college.
all 20s, by the way.
Yeah. I think about a thing telling a kid in college who's like going to do like, let's say he's going to jump off the roof into a pool.
Right.
And you're like, listen, like this could really fuck up your back if you hit this. And they're just like, yeah, shut up.
Yeah, whatever.
And it's like, they actually think like, yeah, if it fucks up my back, whatever. But it's like, no. The pain level and the way that it affects your life, like you have no idea. If you actually experienced it for 10 seconds, you would completely change your viewpoint.
Right.
But it's impossible.
No, that's hard. It's a hard thing. And I think, a lot of that stuff starts coming as you get older. You start wrestling with it. And it's a whole thing. It really is.
It's crazy.
But like with the emotions that you're feeling and feeling that like the ball of anxiety and like all those things, I know it's almost like in the opposite direction, but I know when my grandmother passed, like you guys saw me in some weird places with that, and it's a thing. You hit these moments where sometimes it's just too much for your brain to process.
That's how it feels.
Yes.
And you go, I guess I'm fucking wackadoo for a moment. You know what I mean? Like,
That's exactly how it feels.
Yep.
Yeah. So
like when you came in here, you were covered in blood. You were covered in blood, and you kept saying, "Well, I wanted to see it," and that's fucked. So, what organ is your mom giving Lindsay?
Yeah, it's a swapsies.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They said it doesn't have to be the same importance, but it has to weigh the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
They do it by weight.
Yeah, they did it. It's like 7 pounds with Will Smith.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I thought it was weird that Lindsay's kidney had caveat emptor inscribed on it.
That's a phrase from Tell 'em Steve.
Well,
I thought
it's
it
a
said-
phrase from Latin.
I thought it was if found, contact Lindsay. No, but what organ?
And Lindsay scribbled out.
And your mom is in there. Yeah. Property of. Yeah. That's really fun. Oh, what if it's like a check and she has to sign it over?
Ooh.
Pay to the order of Chuck's mom.
Yeah.
What organ? If you had to trade an organ.
Trade an organ. Well, we just talked about gallbladders and how unimportant they are.
Yeah.
So, I mean-
Was that on air or off air? I don't remember anymore.
We talked about it off air, but
Yeah.
I mean, like immediately I go to appendix gallbladder because you don't. Need
I don't
it.
have my gallbladder.
I'll give you guys my skin.
That's an organ.
Yeah, it's the biggest organ on the bird.
It would be interesting to wear Brad's skin.
But my...
Are you sure? Because there'd be so much room for you because I'm so much taller.
I would have to cut a hole at the end of your penis so I could get mine in.
I think both of you would.
I would love the idea of
tight.
you wearing Brad's skin and it's his penis split. Coming out.
Thank you for thinking it would only be the penis that gets split in two in that
Someone draw that.
Oh, no.
No.
You're going to be on a list for sure because I'm going to
Yeah.
put you on it. I just had a question and it completely lost my...
What organ would you trade?
I guess
Appendix,
it was
spleen.
the appendix. The appendix bothers me so much. We talked about ticking time bombs a moment ago. We literally have a vestigial organ in our body that we do not need anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it was for. Brad, do you maybe know?
You
were there.
They think it's
So what should I put in these guys?
It's back when we used to eat bark.
He goes the guy, what the fuck do I know?
But what is it?
The idea of when our diet was very different, it would help filter things out in a different way. And as our diet got more and more refined, the appendix just stayed.
Got it.
Because there's no advantage to losing it,
right?
And so if it ain't broke,
it just really weirds me out because it truly is like, hey, there's this little sack inside you.
Yep.
And at any moment, it could pop open. Yep. And it's going to be the most painful thing.
And it's also filling your body with
and
bacteria.
You could die.
Yep.
So I knew a girl who was like, basically her appendix was inflamed and on the verge of bursting.
Yeah.
And she's like, the doctor said I have to
burst verge.
She goes, I have to walk really slow to go to the hospital because if something hits it, that's when it bursts.
Jesus.
And I'm like, what? You're playing Operation in real life?
It's like
what's happening?
unstable TNT.
Was music playing that's like like from The Critic? You know what I mean? Like
that
kind of
the
stuff.
opposite of crank.
yeah, exactly.
Crunk?
Yeah.
No, that's wild. I had my gallbladder out.
Yes.
And it gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I still have my appendix. The other one that scares me is the spleen.
Oh, spleen. I don't know much about the spleen.
Spleens are weird.
Okay. I don't know that too much about the
spleens.
spleen.
Are weird. Am I right? What's the deal with spleens?
Woo! Yeah.
Thank you. One guy's spleen on his shirt.
Yes.
So I had mono in college.
Yes.
We were talking about that before we got on these microphones. I had it twice. I got around. The first time I had it, I remember the doctor saying like, hey, for the time being, I had very bad mono. I got mono at a level that was not good. I had to go home and recover.
Yeah.
And so I had mono, and the doctor said for the next like 3 to 6 weeks or whatever it was, you have to be very careful. You can't play any sports. You can't like do anything too active because your spleen becomes inflamed when you have mono, and you can rupture your spleen.
Ouch.
And
It's
you're
similar to this
done.
girl. Yeah. Similar.
And it scares the shit out of me. And so I'm just like, oh God.
Of course.
And I'm like,
and you turn over in bed and you go, was that too hard of a turnover?
Yeah. Oh, since then, like both times I had mono, I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
I know.
Like I don't want to bend too quickly.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, stuff like that, and it
fucking
scares
hell.
me. But to this day, I'm like, so there's 2 little airbags of death inside me.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know?
there's
And then
more
there's
than
more.
2.
There's more.
Yeah.
And everybody knows the big one, and that's the heart.
Yeah. So I'll put a bow on it because I think we're good. Big thanks.
That's what the doctor said just hours ago.
Huge thanks to Lindsay. She,
Yeah,
my family
absolutely.
will never be able to repay you for this.
And you can make them try as much as you want. I
can push.
genuinely welcome you, Lindsay, to use this as emotional blackmail.
Absolutely.
I'll send you some stuff I'd like to.
Yeah, and I think I think Jokers is going good. I hope it goes in a good direction.
Yeah.
Natalie's in. All of our stuff is all over the house.
Oh, no.
Like covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Natalie, your completely real and not imaginary girlfriend.
So Target, she works for Target. They paid for her move.
Yeah.
And part of the rules of the move, get this, they boxed up everything in her house. They brought it to my house, and they have to, our house now, they have to unbox it.
Yeah.
And part of the rules is they have to put everything on a surface. They can't put anything on a floor, right? And they
Okay.
have to unbox it. every surface,
It's just
including
stuff.
every bed,
Yeah.
is covered in all our
Every
stuff.
bed? How many beds do you have? What, you run a hostel?
We have 3 king-size beds.
Oh, it's a prostitution thing.
Well, we got this big townhouse. I want people to come be able to visit.
It's
Got a smut pad.
It's a hostel, but it's HOSTIL.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do. I mean, I think we're in still the thick of mania of moving.
Oh, yeah.
And how it's like when you go home, everything is so stressful and uncomfortable
Yeah.
because there's no way to tackle all that and live your life.
This goes back to what I was saying before, like when those sectors all get fucked up.
Yeah.
I can deal with a big thing happening in family.
Right.
I can deal with a big thing happening in career. If both are happening, I can't fucking. It's too overwhelming because I don't have a space where I'm like, this
I'm
plate
safe.
is spinning.
Yeah.
I'm safe here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You know, and that's what's going on. All of those sectors for you.
Yeah.
You have this big stuff happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy. I'll just
Yeah.
be driving. I was driving here. And I'll just like start to tear up. And tears
Yeah.
will run. I'm like, dude, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that brings a close to the intro to this episode.
Yes.
Which gets us to the real important part is that last night when Chuck got home, we finished the game Battletoads.
Well, actually, I have a sillier thing that Ray needs to know.
Oh,
about.
wow,
We did
okay.
finish Battletoads.
We did finish Battletoads.
It was good. It was well written.
Yep.
He was Zitz. I was Pimple.
Yep.
It was well written. He was Zitz. I was Pimple.
Yes. That's what we said, right?
Yeah.
No, sometimes I repeat it so the stenographer can get a clear.
There's 3 Toads, by the way. So if
Yeah.
they make a sequel,
Yeah.
what's his name?
It's Zitz, Rash, and Pimple.
Ooh, rash. Oh,
You could be.
it's half of my name. Perfect. Yeah. Can I be Raish?
Yes. So I was having a bonfire the other day, and I thought about a story. I don't know if Ray knows. So, and I was like,
I thought we were wrapping it.
well, this is what I thought. I
yeah.
was given heavy, and now I finished with a silly.
Thank God you finished the sentence.
Yeah.
I heard I was giving head, and I went, what happened at this bonfire?
But that also
Wow, you really
that
throw a bonfire.
also happened at the bonfire.
Yeah.
But it was all heavier
You
stuff.
put a marshmallow in your
Oh,
mouth
I was
first,
gonna say
right?
he calls them s'more jobs.
Yeah.
That's more jobs.
Yeah.
And I was like heavy. I'm like, let's end with a silly.
Yeah.
So I get a silly for you.
Smed.
So yes. So a long time ago, my band Senior Discount, we used to film videos to like advertise our shows and our album releases.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'd be scripted, and sometimes they'd be like pranks and stuff like Jackass stuff.
Yeah.
And so for Halloween, me and my friends went around for about a month and we stole 300 pumpkins from all these local farms, right? And we filled our
I don't like it.
We filled
like
our
it. I'm
guitarist.
against that.
We filled our guitarist rooms with pumpkins. So
Oh,
he
sorry.
came-
Pumpkin brittle. Is that okay now?
I didn't steal 300 containers of peanut brittle from various small local restaurants and shops.
Listen, I was 19 years old. All bets were off.
Listen, 19?
Yeah.
You were old enough to vote. And by the way, I was in 3rd grade and I stole one little peanut brittle and you won't let that go? Up on your little pedestal. Pedestal? I can't even talk
How many
anymore.
pieces of peanut butter? Let's see, versus pumpkin.
It's insane that you would go 300 pumpkins
It was, you know what was crazy?
to peanut brittle. 3rd grader with some peanut brittle. 300 pumpkins. Brad,
we'd
I'm
be-
furious at you.
so we would
I'm
be-
furious.
we would be driving
Whatever
the car.
little weird cord of morals that you have.
He's my buddy. So we would be driving
doing
the
it for
car,
the bit.
and we needed so much room for these big pumpkins. And so the trunk would be open with all the pumpkins in it. The back seat, we have the pumpkins around us, so we're driving around them
Yeah,
on
yeah.
our feet. So we filled his room with 300 pumpkins for Halloween. He walks in, it's all pumpkins.
Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada.
That's not the story. So for Thanksgiving, we're like, we're gonna top this thing somehow, right?
Okay.
So we went out and bought this turkey, but the turkey was meant to be killed for Thanksgiving. But we just bought it as like a prank element.
Did you buy it from the sitcom shop?
We bought it from a farm. And
Oh, that farmer, he took it for such a
he
cheap
was like,
price, too.
he was
'Cause-
like, And I was like,
Oh, no, he's like, please buy the turkey. I have no money. I
lost-
been bankrupt by all of the pumpkins that were stolen
Yes.
by what I can only assume are heartless thugs.
Yeah.
no, it was a prank. Divided by 10 farms, there's 30 pumpkins. They won't even miss them.
Do you see my son? You see all his crooked teeth? That's because he doesn't have braces this year. And that's because those pumpkins were stolen.
So,
Chuck's eating a pumpkin pie.
by the way, we left them so we moved all the pumpkins into the boiler room, and we're like, we'll clean those one day.
Well, we don't see it anymore, so it's fine.
They went so bad.
Yeah.
They just filled the house with pumpkin sticks.
God. Now I just pictured your house at that point.
It's not my house, it's a different house.
Yeah, but covered in those tree air fresheners, like in Seven,
Oh, it's
from
crazy.
the pumpkin smell.
And it was right
What
next.
does it smell? Stolen pumpkins.
It's crazy.
Oh, is that Yankee Candle? I'm getting stolen pumpkins.
It was so crazy. Anyways, we got this
It's
turkey.
Narragansett's next flavor extract.
So we named this turkey Fred. And we're like, all right, we got to put this turkey in his room. So he comes home for Thanksgiving and there's a turkey. You know, that's funny. So
I just feel bad for the turkey.
Well, the turkey was this is the story. The turkey was supposed to be slaughtered.
Yeah.
And
so it
instead-
had like a frat house adventure.
yeah.
Like the turkey's sitting on the couch with Will Ferrell drinking a beer, right?
Basically. So here's what happened. So
You're the best turkey. You've
So-
always been there for me.
so he had a bathroom off of his room. And we're like, that's
The turkey?
no, the guy.
no. The guy.
So we put the turkey in the bathroom, and we're like,
Just
oh.
like the song.
And we're like, well, let's do some funny stuff. We tried to brush his teeth with a toothbrush.
This is why I feel bad for the turkey.
Yeah.
No, it was fine.
No, he loved it. He was all gobble gobble.
He did. So the guitarist comes home. He hears a noise in the bathroom. He looks in the bathroom. There's a turkey in there, of course, as you know.
Yeah.
And he's
Spoiler alert.
He's all upset about this turkey thing.
Oh,
Fine.
his giblets are all in a mess.
So he's whatever, fine. So we take this turkey and we're like, well, what do? We don't want to kill a turkey, even though that's what it's meant to. That's what it was bred to do. Well, it was around Thanksgiving, so they were selling turkeys.
No, I know. It's just weird to say, like, it was meant to die.
Yeah, and so we had a fenced-in yard, so the turkey will just live here. You know what I mean? So the turkey.
Okay, number one, I already know you can't keep a turkey in a fenced area.
No, it stayed. It didn't fly.
I'm amazed that it didn't hop up.
No, it didn't hop up.
I have wild turkeys at my house, not at my house, but around our
You playing a
neighborhood.
prank?
I put on a lot of seed.
yeah.
But no, it's because I have so many guitarists I'm trying to find. You know what I mean? Eddie Van Halen, I'm looking at you.
So anyway,
No, but my point is,
sorry.
those turkeys,
they fly.
they don't fly.
Oh, they go in the
It's more
trees.
like they jump real high.
Yes.
They will be on the roof of like a neighbor's house.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think that turkeys in the wild versus turkeys that are bred for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
there's a difference in the way that the farmers feed them.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm not sure about it, but I think that there is.
Yeah.
So the turkey hung out for
And
a while.
a lot of it also is like they don't feel like they can. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They've been
right.
told.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a Dumbo magic feather situation.
Right. They don't have the gumption.
Right.
They look at the wild turkey like, oh my God,
I
if
wish.
only.
Yeah.
And that's why they named that whiskey after them.
Yes.
Wild turkeys, because they have the guts to fly.
So we took the turkey,
Yeah.
have it in the yard, feeding it pumpkin pieces and stuff. Like just whatever you're supposed to feed a turkey.
This is why I feel bad for the
No,
turkey.
the turkey. I mean, you're happier when it's slaughtered and killed?
If an animal, I'm not saying it did suffer, but I'm not saying that the turkey suffered.
Yeah.
But if an animal, the choices are this animal suffers and then dies, or this animal dies, I would go with the latter.
So what happens is we're friends with the turkey. It's fine. We name it Fred, and it's hanging out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then we're like,
He got in with a bad crowd.
well, it's like it's getting really cold, and so we're like, I don't know what the turkey is. I don't know how it lives. So we had this buddy, and his dad
was a goose.
and his dad had this basement where he was keeping an alligator, right?
Yeah.
And it was like at first it was little. It was like 2 feet, right?
Right.
That's how they start.
And I'm still not supposed to feel bad for the turkey.
You don't know what happens yet. So
They become friends. They learn to respect each other. They overcome adversity.
So the alligator is getting bigger and bigger and bigger in this guy's basement.
like they do.
Yeah. And so the guy's building bigger and bigger enclosures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a guy that had a gator as well. And you know what never happens with gator people? They're like, size is not a problem. Every single time someone will get a gator, which is insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And I'm not in support of that.
No, but anytime I've heard of a random person getting an alligator, the story always ends with it got too big and I didn't know what to do. That's every single time.
He knew what to do. So he built
Open a fucking gator farm.
Well, he turned his basement into more of an enclosure for this alligator. right?
Perfect.
And so, but the alligator
doesn't know sunlight.
So the alligator's getting all aggressive. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so he has to build this shield so he can go and feed it. You know?
Yeah.
Like a normal person. Like a normal person. He becomes a Silence of the Lambs level, put the lotion in the basket man to drop meat down to its gator that got too big.
So, by the way,
then I had to dig a well in my basement.
just to be clear, the turkey situation fell upon us after the prank. The gator situation
It fell upon you when you bought it?
it fell into our laps. The gator situation we had nothing to do with. This is a different guy.
Yeah.
I know, but you reached out to this guy.
Yeah.
And so he's he has this shield.
I know
right?
somebody else who made a bad choice.
Involving an animal.
2 wrongs sometimes. Oh no, it didn't make it right.
So, he's going down the stairs. He's fighting the gator. He has the shield.
What was the gator's name? Do you know?
I did not.
He painted a gator on the shield.
Yeah, I remember that.
How else will he know it's for him?
So, the guy's fighting this gator. It's crazy. This thing's like nuts. And so he's trying to keep it from coming up the stairs, all this kind of stuff.
How is this just an add-on to this? To the entire story we've already heard. This is a whole episode. I'm so upset with
The
this.
turkey. So we talked to this guy because he has a way with animals.
No.
Yeah.
He's gotten away with animals. He does not have a way with animals.
He does have a way with
I
animals.
worry that sometimes he has his way with
He
animals.
does. No, that's not the case. It's very friendly Dr. Doolittle situation.
Very friendly with his riot shield, going down the stairs, going, "Get back! Get back! You monster of the deep!
Yes. So
You swamp bitch! Get back!
So we're like, this guy will know what to do about this. So we
You got a basement?
give him the
Well,
turkey.
you got to get a shield, brother.
So we give him this
Turkey
turkey,
shield.
bring it over, and so he turns half the.
He sticks his hand on the shield and he starts tracing it. I'm sorry, that was worth it.
So he turns the basement into like half alligator enclosure,
Jesus Christ.
half turkey enclosure. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
So the turkey.
Who is this person?
But,
Are they alive?
yes.
How?
So
Because they have a way with animals.
I was going to say the 4 coyotes he took in got him.
so the turkey and the alligator live in harmony. Okay, as a surprise to all of us.
This guy's a fucked up dumb Noah is what he is. I don't have an ark, but I got a basement.
So, but the turkey is getting all mutated. It's like,
Mutated?
can you explain it?
It's
Mutated?
its feet, its talons, its claws aren't they aren't meant to live this long. And
not
so
supposed to live. They're supposed to be killed.
The feet
Or on concrete?
yes are growing gnarled and like causing pain.
They're like huge. The feet are getting
to the
like to
turkey.
like giganticism.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So he's
So it's suffering.
Yes.
well. So not yet. I mean, we fixed it. So the guy, he has an idea.
he says, I need to make shoes
So he buys his
for
sneakers,
the turkey.
right? He buys these sneakers.
Yep.
I think
Did this man,
There were Jordans.
real quick, this man, did he have a pot on his head? Because this is some real Puddinhead gets a zoo situation.
When he fought the alligators.
Yeah. You got to protect it.
So
Hey, you better be lucky. You could be a pair of shoes yourself, Mr. Gator.
so he buys these sneakers, right? And he's fitting them on the turkey, but the turkey's like, he's squawking and he's kicking and stuff like that.
I don't like
course.
this. This
That's
is
not
now.
me. I had nothing to do with
I
this.
know, but I can still not like what happened to the turkey.
Well, this is-
I don't like that this happened to this animal.
But this is consideration. Listen to it. So he puts
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, this part is.
He puts the sneakers on the turkey and he measures and he figures out the toes. So he cuts out all these holes for his toes, like Crocs, kind of. You know what I mean?
At what point do you go, what am I doing? You know what I
I
mean?
wasn't there. Oh yeah, the guy.
The guy. I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
saying it's you. You're
So-
very defensive. I'm saying it's this guy.
So the
What kind of
turkey-
sneakers were they?
I don't
Did
know.
you get- did you
I
get
think
a
it was
look?
probably like New Balance because he wanted a lot of support. So, so the turkey stands up,
Yeah.
Pain free.
He loves them.
Pain free.
He slam dunks immediately. Yeah.
So the turkey's trotting around the basement, and everything is fine.
How did he manage to do the pumps? How did he pump them up, those Reeboks?
So
Waddle.
the story ends with the alligator and the turkey lived in harmony, and I assume for the rest of their natural lives.
In solitary confinement, in a basement with no light, living next to... For the alligator, living next to a constant source of food it can't eat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for the turkey, living next to a constant source of predator that it
Wants to
needs
eat
to
them.
just be there.
Yeah, and by the way, not in
And
support
it
of the
had
alligator.
shoes on.
My conundrum morally was the turkey goes in the basement. We treated it well. We were very gentle with it, and then we have it. And basically, this is over the course of like 12 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to kill this turkey.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I don't want this turkey to die. Now we're friends. I brushed his teeth.
Yeah.
Like, so the conundrum was like, I can't kill this thing. So let's just put it in the yard and let it run and play.
Yeah.
And be friends with us. And then when it got cold, it was like, we have to do something. We can't leave it out there.
Yeah.
So
And you'd already beaten Contra with it.
Without the code.
Yeah, it was
Without
pecking.
the code.
He was pecking. He put peanut butter on a controller and some seed.
we did have parties, but he wasn't like, he didn't like other people.
He wasn't cool.
He didn't like other people. So
Yeah.
he would like go in the corner.
No, Chuck says
He was
that
shy?
Chuck stole the turkey's ex.
Yeah.
Ah.
So
I
the
see.
turkey was
We
like,
did film some stuff at the parties. I think you could see the turkey in the corner. Like,
I don't like that. I
but
don't like that.
He just didn't like other people. You know what I mean? He's comfortable with us.
Yeah, he's a turkey. Yeah, he's a turkey.
We all have
He's
quirks.
a turkey. So for him, he was like, I'm in this place and these people are weird. All of a sudden, oh my God, there's 20 people here.
I mean, in the turkey's defense, I don't like meeting strangers either.
So
I'm with the turkey.
So my moral
I'm sure
conundrum.
the turkey was like, I wish I could be in a basement for my life.
Well, so that's the thing. So my moral conundrum was like, yes, we've treated the turkey well. Yes, he's outside and he has a huge area to play in and play with us. But hold on.
He never used the swing set.
It's getting cold. So now we need to find a thing because I don't want to kill this guy.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
So the only person we knew that had experience with animals and
Exotic animal.
exotic animals
Yeah.
was this man. So after, I don't know.
Did you think about just taking it back to the farmer that you bought it from?
I think they would kill him.
Yeah, I think.
You could see my moral conundrum.
If I were faced with the idea, not even knowing what ultimately would happen, not even knowing about the shoes,
Turkey shoes.
I think I would go, put him in a basement or give him to this farmer who will likely kill him. I'm going farmer will likely kill him.
I think, I will be honest, I didn't know what the guy was going to do. And he was
That doesn't make it better.
known as having a way with animals.
Yeah.
Like
as rehabbing animals.
He would rehab other animals in his. Okay, I guess that's part of this. He would like find birds that are hurt, and he would bring them home, and he'd make little crutches and splints, and he would
And make
nurse.
him do little movies.
Yeah, he would nurse them back to health.
Yeah.
So take out the alligator aspect and think about all the birds
It's
he
a
saved.
big aspect. It's a big
You
aspect.
couldn't ignore it. Don't look at the shield. Don't look at the. He had a poking stick.
I mean, the fact that the turkey ends up its roommate is kind of hard to overlook.
Well,
You
so
know?
we gave it to him thinking he'll have a solution for this. I didn't know what it was going to become. He liked the turkey too. He was also friends with the alligator. And so I don't know. I don't know what I did.
What happened in the end?
I think that my friendship was severed with this boy, who this guy was his dad, and we never found out.
I don't remember hearing any. I'll say this. Before the friendship was severed, I was in that basement with the gator. The turkey was nowhere to be seen.
Afterwards?
It was Thanksgiving, which we ate really well that year.
So where's Fred?
And on Christmas, you got this beautiful briefcase.
I will say this.
I did get some hand-me-down shoes.
Yeah.
I will
They
say,
felt great.
Oh, you know
honestly-
what's the saddest short story? Go ahead.
no. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Brad already knows. You know what the saddest short story is?
What is it?
Turkey shoes for sale, never worn.
I will say this, and Brad can kind of speak to this.
Yeah.
Because he did have a history of rehabbing animals and helping animals.
Yeah.
it's very possible he took in the turkey, saw the foot situation, created turkey sneakers, and then got him somewhere to have a life. Like, we don't know. I'm not like, hey, the turkey was there for a year.
Yeah.
It could have been there for 3 days. I don't remember, right?
Long enough for shoes to be a part of it.
Well, this guy didn't have a lot going on. He had time for the shoes.
And then so this hobble-footed turkey with shoes.
It's because of the hormones.
Would get dropped off, let's say there's a turkey sanctuary.
Right.
And then...
Or a bird sanctuary.
And then hobbled turkey comes in with shoe.
He's probably faster. He jumps more. Like, he's probably...
Yeah.
Better traction.
Oh, he's got the Riz,
Yes.
for sure.
Think of Sandlot with PF Flyers.
Or it could have been a WKRP in Cincinnati situation. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Oh, okay.
Very famous episode.
I think it's very possible that he fixed him up as much as he could, and then he brought it to some experts. I think that's the story of my turkey. That's my moral. The alligator, this guy.
That's his own business.
He has the shield. He had a big alligator stick, and he would like fight him and fight. Remember that?
Wouldn't fight him.
No, I don't think there's a fight going on.
Okay. He wouldn't like engage.
He would debate him.
He wouldn't engage in like a gladiator fight with the alligator to see if he could win.
The moral framework surrounding capital punishment.
No, it was more like it was the alligator's fault. He had to poke him back to like feed him so he wouldn't attack the man.
Yeah, I know what a prison riot is.
Yeah, so Well, he's not fighting him for fun. He's saying,
No,
I
I
need
know.
to come feed you and you're going to kill me.
Yeah,
And so he's just pushing him.
yeah. But like, if you're in that situation, you know what I mean? Then don't do it.
Oh, I'm not interested.
Then don't do it.
I have no
Is
interest.
this where you got your idea for Zombie Zoo? You saw this guy swatting up to go down in the basement. Right? He puts on his helmet, puts the visor down, puts the big vest on, gets the shield ready. He's got the stick, and he goes, I'm going to go feed it. Now, honey, just remember, I love you,
He's like,
but I'm going to go feed it.
I got to put chainmail around my neck because I
Yeah.
can't have it bite me. And Chuck's watching The Walking Dead and he hears bite me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but this was a house with like a full family in it too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a guy
Yeah.
living by himself.
Yeah.
He was like,
where did he have them kept?
yeah. So anyway,
The full family.
I do not support the alligator keeping.
I don't support any choice that was made during this whole thing.
Not even the shoes?
Here's what I support: saving a turkey's life, getting him to a man who has a way with animals, and then getting the turkey to some kind of sanctuary where he lives his life happily with his shoes on.
That is all a guess. That is all a guess.
No, I saved the turkey in the first place from slaughter.
I mean, it goes to that idea. Wow, I think I just gave my first Brad side.
It's not your first.
Now I know why you have it.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's how do I describe this?
Right.
I think, again, it comes down to that idea of like rescue from slaughter
Thank you.
versus a particular way of living once
Versus
they've been rescued.
prolonged suffering.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where it starts to get tricky. It's like taking grandpa out of hospice and then like dropping him off at a crack den. You know?
I think. Well, he seemed like he was
And
having.
then getting grandpa
Shoes.
He was hanging out. He was having fun at the house. We called it VBW house because it was like all of us hanging out. He was having fun.
Very
and then,
bad. We are.
Yes, we are. No, so he was having fun, and then it got too cold, and his feet became mutated. so hold on. So he got him to someone who could help. That's what we did. That's all he did.
I know a guy with a basement. Let's go. That's where it all goes wrong. Once you say, oh, and he went into a basement, I'm like, oh, that sucks. That's really bad for any animal. You're like, hang on. He already had an animal in the basement. Oh, was it a mouse? Something, a spider that you would expect to see in the basement. No, it was an alligator.
So I will say, if I didn't tell you about the alligator and I just told you about his habit of helping birds, you would be whistling a different tune.
The second basement came up, the word basement, I'd be like, well, that's no place for a turkey.
But it could have been 24 hours. I don't know what he did with the turkey. I
How
hope it was
quickly
good.
did this friendship dissolve? Were you like, here's the turkey, thank you very much. By the way, I never want to see you again.
Well, not. So, do you have no updates on the alligator or the turkey?
The alligator was there when I was there for Thanksgiving in 2008.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
This story happened in 2004.
Okay.
So the alligator was still there 4 years.
Yeah.
How big
that's
that fucking
miserable.
It was a big alligator.
And the turkey was not there.
No.
And you didn't ask about the turkey.
I didn't know about the turkey.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know about.
Is this before you knew Chuck?
No.
2008 is when we became friends.
Yeah, no, I knew they had put a turkey in the guitarist's bathroom.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. Oh, then it went to this person to take care of, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I want to make it clear. This guy did have a legitimate penchant for saving animals.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
So that's why we thought he was the right person to talk to.
Yeah.
If you found yourself in a situation where you had bought a turkey, pranked someone with it, now it's friends with you, and you're like, it's getting too cold and its feet are changing, wouldn't you?
I think it's molting.
So wouldn't you be like, oh, I have this friend who's constantly rehabbing animals and releasing them back in the wild. Let's talk to him.
Well, with the parameters that you've given, of course that's what I would think, because clearly I have some sort of head injury or I've had an embolism of some kind, some sort of oxygen deprivation to the mind. I would then be like, you know what I should do? I should take this to that guy.
Yeah.
The guy who likes birds.
The turkey guy.
And then the guy who likes birds, when he said basement, at any point, I'd be like, that's not a good idea.
Okay.
And guy who likes birds goes, no, it's fine. My alligator loves it. And then I go, I need to leave.
He knows more than me about rehabbing these birds, so I have to trust this guy. He's an expert, like your doctor with the spine injection.
What did this guy do for work?
He was a retired Marine.
Jesus Christ. Just a retired Marine with an alligator and a turkey in the basement.
Helping animals around town.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
One man's helping animals around town is another man's, this person is going around killing birds.
He saved a few.
One man's, he saved a few, is another man's, a few got away.
Well, that's the story I wanted to tell Ray.
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. What a thing. That could have been a whole episode in and of itself.
Yep.
We should have saved it for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that is a good. That's
Damn.
okay. That's okay.
Well, folks out there, if you have opinions on this turkey situation, we would love to hear them. Funbearablepod@gmail.com or find us on socials at
PETA?
Funbearablepod.
I was just going to say, please don't let anybody that's a part of PETA hear any of this story.
You can hear just my parts where I became friends with the turkey and I tried to get help.
If you are looking to prank Eddie Van Halen, please know that he passed away in 2020. So, I don't know what Ray's turkey is going to do there. Yes, Ray.
Okay. All right. This is what I mean. This is why I do live in the middle, because there's such extremes on either end.
I'm like,
do I live in the middle, or can I just freely go where I want without bumping into either
No, you're
limit?
in the basement with us.
Oh my God, I am the basement gator.
yeah, you are.
Oh no. Is that you poking me?
Hell yeah, it is.
Shit.
I'm a turkey.
Look at my feet. Oh, you do have fucked up feet.
Oh my goodness. Well, anyway,
My feet are beautiful. Thank you all so much for joining us on this episode. Thank you to Lindsay.
Yeah, sincerely, thank you.
Yeah. And, we hope everyone feels better as soon as they can. For Ray Harrington and Chuck Staten, I'm Brad Rohr saying thank you so much. And we're sorry for being Funbearable.
Are you concerned at all? Because I do know your mom was getting like some of the information for post care after the surgery and the kidney, and I heard she went yeah like that. Are you like, she's got to take care of it?
well, I set her up with my friend's dad.
Oh no, is that where she's recovering?
Yeah,
Just
he
in a
made a
basement.
sliver in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a rehab place?
It's got Chuck's mom on a shield.
Oh no,
She has her own shield for both sides.
Yep.
Oh.
Because that turkey's kicking.
her feet are gonna get fucked up.
Yep.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's Velcro from here on out. The streets are paved with Velcro. I love that this podcast can be a thing where we can express genuine joy that your mom got a kidney, and we can talk about that, and then we can talk about like the idea of the emotions and how you're feeling, and some of the comedy of feeling responsible or like you owe something to the person that has donated their kidney, and then we can also in the same exact episode talk about all of that insanity.
Yeah.
All of this like never before seen pilot for a 1995 sitcom of 3 single men living in a house, and then one gets a turkey, right?
Yeah. Ooh, Thanksgiving episode. We filmed the whole thing.
3 men and a turkey.
We should watch it and do commentary.
We watched the pilot.
We actually filmed it.
They filmed the turkey in the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
The whole thing.
Oh no, I don't want to be a part of the actual thing.
You're not.
Even commenting on it, because all my comments will be like, "You shouldn't have done that. Don't do that. Don't put it in there. Oh, it's in there."
No, you're gonna be
Let
like,
it out. Oh
you know,
no.
what, you want to hear your comments?
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are good friends. Wow, you made friends with the turkey. Wow, you're taking care of this. Wow, you saved it from slaughter. It's just gonna be that.
Just a lot of that.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of wows.
I think what we should do is find the retired Marine and interview him and find out what happened to the turkey, what happened to the gator, and what other things has he done.
Oh yeah.
What sort of fucked up stuff? Like what's that movie Don't Breathe?
Yes.
What a Don't Breathe situation. Imagine somebody breaking into that guy's house.
Oh yeah.
And like, yeah, we think he's got a lot of gold in the basement. And then you hear, right? And like, oh my God, we can't even hear it coming. It's wearing quiet shoes.
Then you're like, all right, like hold on, let's hide in this little pool.
Yeah. I found a small pool. Let's lay in that.
This is weird.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a log floating towards me.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I'll apologize for the pumpkins though.
Oh, the pumpkin council's going to be all on you.